Hey everyone, it's your boy Matt here. This is a video which I'm actually making for my former clients, the people who I provided therapy for. It's been a bit of a thing, I suppose, watching someone who was there to help you, to provide guidance, to help you with your problems kind of fall apart. I also think, and because there hasn't been the opportunity for back and forth between myself and the people who I am responsible for caring for, and I am responsible, by the way. I haven't been able to execute parts of that responsibility because of the situations I've been attending to, and I don't think anyone have been expected to have held it completely together with everything that I've been through. Okay. Ultimately, I think my behavior has been, uh, how do I put it? I think it's been exceptional what I've done and achieved. I It has not been in line with what I would have liked to have behaved at different points. I have done my very best, okay? And uh, I deliberately kind of avoided taking the fight originally to Humanity Health Group uh, because of my concern about what it was going to do to the participants and the people who I was responsible for. And for a significant period of time, I didn't do anything. For around 6 months to a year, I didn't do my escalations. It was ethically very challenging. What I realized is that the ethics of my profession, they're written by people who want to control and the profession, okay? That's the reason why they're there. And the reason why the profession's in the state it is in is because of these people, and I was going to have to do some things which and toe some ethically grey lines to get the outcomes I needed, that we needed for the system, the NDIS, to work effectively. Now, in the meantime, I kind of want to show some things that I own. Okay, I'm a very sentimental guy. When I see something which jogs a memory of someone, I'm like, hey, that's kind of cool. And I remember there was this family, and both the parents worked for the CSIRO. And I remember seeing these Helix magazines, right? And these are like these science magazines, because people in this culture, right, in that science CSIRO culture, like they want their kids to have it as well, right? And they have these amazing, this sort of amazing cultural pipeline, and the love of science that I saw in that family was, I thought, quite beautiful. And I think that and I quite, in a lot of ways, quite envious of it. And I saw this Helix magazine, and I deliberately put it in my little box here. I've got a bottle of Worcestershire sauce down here. That reminds me of another family which I was working with. But the issue that a lot of these people, not issue, there's something that I need to express to the groups of people who I work with, okay? So the professions of psychology and counseling, it exists in this space where it's both knowledge work and relational work, okay? It's knowledge work in that we have to read a shit ton of fucking textbooks and things like that. We need to understand what we're doing, and we sell our work based on not doing things for free. If I do everything I do for free, I don't get to have a roof over my head. And in the same way, with the relational side of things, it's a bit the same. I kind of I see my role more as just a community leader in general responsibility. The pay, like, I do a significant amount of work for free. Like, have you noticed what I've been doing over the past couple of years? And I would actually have, given the opportunity, seeing as there was an interruption in service, would have happily provided free therapy and counselling. I wouldn't have needed to be paid for it. I haven't been in a position where I can do that, because the way that my registration works is that because I haven't completed my general registration, I can't practice in my own right, I need to have supervision in a workplace. It's kind of frustrating because I'm often know more than the person who I'm working for, but that's just life, and that's the stage that I'm at. The other part of it is that it's, again, relational work, and I become sort of this person similar to a pastor in a church or a very important school teacher. I end up being this person who's the middle of a cog, or in the middle of the hub in a bicycle wheel, and there's all the little spokes which go into that wheel. Okay, and remember that I'm kind of, and in doing this, the relationships that I have with my clients and participants in that therapeutic context are very, actually quite important to me. Okay, it's not as if I do genuinely care for my participants. It's not me going there and in a psychopathic way pretending to be your friend or your counselor or someone who cares for you, and then like not feeling anything in return. Like, it's not performative. Like, sometimes if a client is a bit of a cunt, well, I just have to pull my head in and try harder to care for them. If they're actively hostile to me and causing me problems, then of course I'm not going to feel that way at all, and I'm going to very much do the same thing to them, and I'll be better at it than them. Haven't had that problem yet. Now, I'm trying to express a very complex idea here, and I'm going to start using some phrases which a lot of people in my profession aren't going to really like a lot. Psychs tend to be a very pretentious bunch of people, very often very self-important. Because it's difficult to determine if anyone's any good at their job, what people do is that they constantly go around with rules and like performative standards and these social norms, and your ability to conform to those things is what they perceive as good practice, instead of being able to achieve results in anything, because a lot of psychs just can't. And it allows those psychs who can't do anything useful to feel as if they're as good as everyone else. And there's around 40% of psychs are like that. With this work, it's a little bit like prostitution. Okay? It is prostitution is relational work. You're with your clients, you're providing an emotional service, and on top, except it also has this knowledge component to it, where I'm providing the intervention. Okay? Where I have to know how to provide that intervention, and when I'm speaking with you, what I'm doing is that I'm applying techniques that someone else came up with, or I'm applying something which is built on my study of human behavior and human culture, which is quite extensive. Okay, I am an expert. When the same way that a lawyer has expertise in law, I have an expertise in human behavior and psychology and culture. Okay. Now, I'm applying this, but I'm also engaged in this relational work. I am like a really high class escort, okay? All right, I'm the one that you're taking to that ball, okay? That's me. I'm the one that you take to Christmas and pretend that I'm your girlfriend or something, all right? So with this, it's not as if I don't care. It's that I have to, it's a complex juggling of these different things. And I do need to keep these boundaries. And because when I'm engaged, in most situations when people are engaged in not emotional work, yeah, I'd say that. It's like, if you're a mother and you have kids, that's emotional work, raising them, okay? And most times that we are at the receiving end of emotional work, we put it into a context of the relationships where that emotional work has taken place, okay? So it's like people will say, hey, like, you don't want to ever think that prostitute actually loves you. Actually, that prostitute may well love you. It's just that they love doing their work, and don't fucking just try and pinch them off it. So I fucking love that guy. I hope you heard that. I've got this neighbor who's very passionate and very loud. Either way, that's the video for today. I just wanted to express these ideas. Uh, there's always been the opportunity for. I leave it open. I was hoping if Humanity Health Group weren't complete fucking psychopaths, I would have allowed. I would have hoped that they would have allowed clients to contact me and acted as like a hub. They have been fucking terrible. I had to, just to get them to sign off on paperwork for my internship so I could transfer someone else, required me basically explaining to them that it's fucking illegal, and everything I have to do with these fuckwits is, hey guys, everything you're doing is illegal, and I have to just drag them through it to get like an inch of decency. So what happened is that you were provided therapy through a service which was engaged in what needs to be described as criminal behaviour. A large amount of my clients had large amounts of their NDIS money stolen from them. That wasn't by me, that was by my company. Every time I sat down with my boss, they would tell me what to do, would go through a plan for the week, and this is something that we talked about, negotiated, and then I did it. I thought that was just how things are, and in a lot of ways, that's just how it is in the NDIS. That's the standard. It's corrupt as fuck, and a whole lot of situations are like that. But let me be clear as day. I am not the reason why this situation has unfolded the way it is. The person responsible is a woman called Sarah Samuel. On top of that, it's Amanda Mazzoni, and then Fred Sashini. These people are responsible for the problems that we're facing, and I deliberately took a lot of time before I started engaging in this political activity, because I had to reflect and decide, do I want to make a big spectacle, which is potentially going to drag in all of my clients and participants and potentially cause them harm? Unfortunately, this is the situation I've had to attend to, and I've done a bloody fucking good job. And I'm sorry if any of my participants or clients have been adversely affected by my political activity, but it has been necessary, and I don't apologize for it. However, I am not happy that there's been any ill effect on my participants. I have had to make some very difficult decisions and have been through some exceedingly adverse situations, and I make no apology for how I've behaved. However, I do deeply regret, and I want you to know, it took a lot of reflection before I began engaging in the behavior that I have. And I want to say that I take my responsibility as a healthcare practitioner, which I was registered whilst I was practicing, currently registered at this moment, very seriously. Okay, I take my responsibility and my social role very seriously. I look at the sort of a lot of the things which are imposed on me as standards in my industry as a fucking joke. And I think, and I look at the regulator and the people, the social norms that keep being forced on me by other psychs with complete disdain. I think, again, because psychology is a discipline where it's difficult to figure out if you're making progress with a client or not, instead of having people who are chasing results for clients, we have people who engage in a lot of performative activity, and much of psychology is just that, performance. I have always been chasing results for my participants, and I've been chasing results for a reform of the NDIS and everything I've been working for. I am incredibly results oriented as an individual, and uh, I I don't like what has happened to my participants. I have had to make some difficult decisions, and I wish you all very well, and I care about you all very much. It's being that middle engaged in this amount of relational work is actually quite confusing at times. Hence why there's been this very public thing with Ms. Pink and Ms. Purple, who I have that responsibility for, and because there hasn't been the ability to communicate and work these things out therapeutically, there has been consequences. The people responsible are Humanity Health Group and the absolutely despicable behavior of the authorities, and there's the failure of the systems which have been around us. What I have done has been the best possible thing I could have done in a terrible situation, and watching me degrade and be a mess probably was not beneficial to my participants, but it's the but that is the consequence of being an enemy of the state, being abused by these corporate fuckwits, and all these terrible things which have happened. And while I was responsible for your development, let's be clear. Let's have some sympathy for me, and realize the extent of the suffering and the things that I have had to overcome to be effective in actually being able to produce those outcomes for my participants. Right? Either way, this is meant to be a very sincere thing. I'm sorry, for suffering. I did not want that. I took a lot of thought before I did this. It's it. I have had to make some very difficult decisions. I I weighed things up, and I wish you all very well, and you are important to me. It's just it's always a complex thing. Okay, have a good day. If you want to work with me again and I'm someplace else, I'll make the effort for it. I do care for you. Have a nice day.